Episode 74. Yo, Masroor Ahmed. This dude is a finance lover. This guy really is comfortable with money, comfortable making big decisions around money. And he showed us that he's willing to roll up his sleeves and clean some toilets and wash some dishes. That's right. Dude is VP of Finance at Factor 75, a company that makes food, organic, grass-fed type of food, and then delivers it already cooked, chilled and cooked to your door. He's a CFO, basically CFO, for that company. And we ask him, yo, how do you make that cheddar? And he basically talks about how it's all about work ethic, in his opinion, in his experience. Noshod broke down some crazy stories with him in military school, with him as a cross-country runner, some depressing ass shit, let me warn you. But it was actually great because he ended up winning in the end. And finally, Masroor walks us through what it means to really have an owner's mentality. What is it really, and how that relates to the saying, own your shit. Masroor kind of told us some personal stories around that that were really powerful. We finished off talking about something unexpected, the CPS school situation, and what we think are some ideas we have if CPS were to ever listen to us. Why would they? No idea. And how the CPS problems are starting to bring to light the fact that there's so much knowledge already out there with Khan Academy and others, that maybe there's some wacky, not wacky, but outside the box solutions for CPS. So anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy the episode. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace. Let's talk to you, Masroor.
Yeah.
Ahmed. Cool story, man. So thank you, first of all, for coming on the podcast.
Of course, man.
I'm so happy. Yeah, you definitely have a wealth of experience, and soon you're gonna have just a wealth, if you don't already, based on your investing experience. So give us a rundown. So accounting, Deutsche Bank, 3 years. What do you do at Deutsche Bank when you're there?
So, when you're a banking analyst, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. So you're doing everything, all the calculations, all the presentations, making a chart look pretty. I mean, some of it's great. You get to go to some fancy meetings sometimes, but otherwise,
work.
You're in finance. It's the dishes of finance.
It's washing the dishes.
It's for us, it's Excel models and PowerPoint presentations and sounds, whatever, but it's the dishes. That's what it is.
It is the dishes.
And you got to print the, materials, you got to show up, you got to know, hey, why is this wrong? What is, you got to be the guy or gal.
I'm going to ask you a hard question now. What is the number one thing you learned from there about making money? I know you're on the spot. I can give you some time if you want.
With that going,
yeah.
It's funny because it kind of ties to what I was saying earlier.
Let's go this slow. Do you believe you learned something from there that has really fueled your understanding of how to make money in the world?
Yeah, it's always. So I got an answer for you. One and only. You have to outwork everybody. Period. The thing I realized, I had insecurity about not having fancy grades, not fancy school. I got there.
Damn, you need some ego. You need some ego death.
They weren't smarter than me.
Yeah,
they were just like, all right, wait, I can actually.
I think he already knows how to make money for businesses and stuff like that. This guy, he's outworked everybody, and now he can maneuver around. He's the JJ Barrera of whatever the fuck I already forgot, but you know what I mean? It's not like flashy or anything like that. He just puts in his numbers and gets people their money. You know what I mean?
No one's gonna hand it to you. And I think there's this perception that in certain fields, that it's handed to you, or you go to certain school, whatever. When you get there, it's a level playing field. And so for me, what I learned is like I can actually outwork everybody, like physically. I want it more than everybody else. That's what I learned. And I took that with me for years.
But hold on.
Yeah.
Go a layer deeper.
Yeah.
All right. So you uncovered that is how you create wealth. You create income. You create this for yourself. How did you learn how to do that? How to have that work ethic? Because guess what? A lot of people can't do that or don't know how to do that or whatever. Is there something that was empowering you or fueling you to be able like, yo, here we go, 7 a.m., I'm on my seat. 11 p.m., I'm not going home till 11 p.m.
there's two things about that. One is for the people who can't do that, then don't dream about it. I mean,
don't set those kinds of goals.
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. You can't want it and not put in the work for it. That's one. Two, some of it is personal, like that kind of fire that I had when I was 22. That comes from a lot. That comes from how I grew up. That comes from, I grew up in a very average middle class family in Texas, and like I wanted things. I wanted more, and then I actually had this amazing opportunity where I went to what would be equivalent of like inner city CPS schools in Houston. And then I went to an amazing boarding school, like super uppity, jacket, coat, tie dinner.
Yeah, Will Smith, Carlton kind of shit.
Totally. And it kind of opened up the world for me in terms of what was possible and what kind of things I might be able to do when I grow up and that kind of stuff. So I got a taste of it.
That opened up your eyes.
I got to see it. That like, wait, the world is not the world that I think it is, which is the world that I was taught as immigrants. Like, you go to school, the best thing you can do is save up to go to school, maybe be an engineer or a doctor or something.
I was taught the same exact thing.
That's a good life. Buy a little McMansion and like
I was taught the same exact thing.
That's the top.
Yep.
And what I realized, like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with that game. That's great. That is a great life.
But do it with your eyes open.
Yeah, do it. Like, do it. Go get it. But that's not the top. You can do a lot more. Anyway, yeah.
Do you, Noshod, feel like you had that insight growing up? Meaning, like,
I was just about to talk about that. I was like,
you kind of had the Will Smith Carlton experience, and you're like, oh shit, I just saw some shit.
No. But here's my story. I was finna say, like, and then I pulled back. It was like, you can't really teach work ethic. It's something that might be acquired, but that might be wrong too, because you can learn some tools to create a better work ethic. Now, when I was growing up, I didn't really have work ethic. I was kind of just like already kind of talented, and I was like, I don't like, I don't have to do anything because I don't want to do anything. And then I just knew what I wanted to be, and I would only do that and move on.
So you were like that you knew you wanted to do comedy from the beginning?
No, I just knew I wanted to be an artist. And then I was always good at making people laugh, like very young. So I just, like, if I had to make somebody laugh, I would just do that.
Yeah.
And then over time, like, I learned work ethic through, like, so I wanted to, it's a very, very depressing story for me to tell. But
are you embarrassed to tell it?
Yes. This is one of my worst stories.
All right, tell it really, really slow so you can feel all the embarrassment.
Well, so when I was in seventh grade, I wanted to be in cross country, track and field. Yeah. So I tried out for the team. I was like dead last, but I made it though. I was like, there were girls who tried out, and I was like dead last. So I don't know why I was so slow in 8th grade, but I was like dead last. And I was like, I'm just going to keep running and just get better. So I would, like, every morning, because I saw my name dead last, I was like, I'm just going to run every single day. And I ran.
You must have just watched Forrest Gump that day.
Run.
Yeah. I was like, I could beat this retarded kid in the race. No, so so I was like, I ran every morning. I ran.
For real?
Yeah. And then
how like just around your house or what?
Yeah, I would run like as far as I possibly could to where I didn't know the neighborhood, and then I would run back.
7th grade.
That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it first tracked me, right? I'm like, they're like, all right, Noshod, you're gonna run cross country. I forgot how long of a distance we was gonna do, and I was like, all right, yes, my first race. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna do good. Yeah. And then like this kid who didn't even try out, he didn't even show up to none of the practices. This man came in with like smoke behind him. Like he just walked in. They were like, actually, Noshod, never mind. Just sit back. We're going to have him run. And not only did he run, he won the whole race. And I was just like, I'm so mad. But and everybody's like, yeah, high fiving him. And I was sitting on the bleachers like crying.
Wow.
And they were like,
that's hard.
Yeah. And then I was like, I hate this kid so much.
Yeah.
And
that's it though. That's
there's something there, bro.
That's it.
Yeah,
everybody who's
it's your Hitler moment. Yeah.
talking about Hitler. What do you mean?
So, but then I just like constantly ran like nonstop.
Oh, you didn't give up.
No, because I wanted to.
That is the moment right there.
Yeah, I've never seen that kid
I thought
since.
the moment
but-
was gonna be. I thought the moment was gonna be when you said I finished last, but I still made the team. But the real moment is where you tried, and then they say don't even run.
Yeah, and
you
then-
feel like, oh, that's a failure. I failed, and you feel like, oh, F the failure. I'm gonna keep going. So you
Right.
kept running. Then what happened?
You keep running, and then you eventually meet somebody who's still better than you. It's always
course.
going to be one person. Like when I went to high school, there was this kid who would constantly beat me. Every single meet, he would beat me. And I just kept running until this one day I beat him. And like, he was such a nice dude. He was like, man, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, man, beat you, dude.
Man, you are so resentful, man. Damn.
One.
I bet if you saw him today,
Oh
you'd be
yeah,
like,
I'm
yo.
like, remember that time I beat you in that race?
Yeah, you'd shit all over this guy, man. You need some ego death, man. What's
Yeah,
wrong
well,
with you?
I can admit I probably still a little terror. But so after that, like I knew that I could do that. Like after all those failures, I was like, I have the ability to progress nonstop because I work hard.
Yeah.
And I know that I will be better than them, but I also know that there will be somebody better than me. And that's what keeps making me work. And then
So the one tool is the awareness that there's still people better than you and being okay with that.
yeah. Well,
Does that resonate for you, Masroor?
I don't know how much about okay. Like I'm not okay with it because I want to be better than them.
I
But
guess it acts as fuel.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's too confident to give that up.
Right,
But
yeah.
I get it. So it was funny. I'll say something I haven't said since probably high school. So in high
Oh
school.
shit! Everyone's opening up. Hey, Dolder, get ready.
No, I like
Spread
that.
those
Right.
butt cheeks.
That reminded me.
Did I just
Did
say
you bring
that?
lube?
So same thing for me. It was basketball. Same thing. Okay. In high school, when I used to get up every day in the fall before season, go and just work out every morning before school. But it's a pain to get up at 5:30, whatever. So I slept on my bunk bed because I was in a dorm and boarding school. Under the bed, when I looked up 3 feet ahead of me every morning, what I saw was a quote that I wrote on there, and I put it on there for 4 years.
yeah.
And it said, I haven't read this or seen it. Nobody even knows. When you're not practicing, someone somewhere is practicing. And when you meet him, he will win. And that's my shit. Like, I had that for 4 years, and I was like 5:30 in the morning. It'd be like, oh, get up.
Yeah.
Yo,
get-
that's good,
up.
man.
Yeah, that is good.
Can you say it one more time, a little slower?
I think when you're not practicing, someone somewhere is practicing. And when you meet him, he will win.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's it. I mean, what else is there? You got if somebody's outworking you.
That's right.
You're sleeping
Always.
in.
All right.
He's outworking you.
All right, so let's keep going. So, all right, so you leave Deutsche, you learn your lesson about work ethic. You're like, oh shit, this work ethic thing is the way to make some money.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
then,
it starts differentiating. You were asking earlier, like, how do you know? Well, you start getting noticed because you're the one who's like, who cares?
hustling.
Right.
Who
You're
cares?
there first in the
he's-
morning, last
I'm
night.
the one who's worried that like this thing didn't come out. Oh, that needs to be fixed. I'll fix it. I don't care. I'll stay and I'll fix it. I'll volunteer. I'll stay.
Right.
So it makes a difference right away, right from the beginning.
Okay. Then you begin a series of moving out of the corporate world into more entrepreneurial roles.
Yes.
Most of them in the finance role, CFO type of role.
Yes.
Okay. So before you jump into specific stories, what are the 4 or 5 places you went to?
So after I left, Deutsche Bank basically shut down my practice. 2009 global recession or Great Recession, and I did a lot of introspection. I was like, all right, I still like finance. I love finance, but I want to be at a place where I can actually make something. Like
Physically make something?
Physically
A
make
widget?
like something, or even if it's tech, like actually sell something to somebody. Like when you're at a bank, like. You're just pushing something that you don't actually, you intellectualize it. Oh, I sell derivative to somebody else who buys this and I make a cut and it's millions of dollars, by the way, but the bank makes millions of dollars and I get a percentage. It's this, and great. Good on you. There's a lot of money to be made in that business. Great. But I just got peaked about like, hey, I want to go actually be at a real business. And I took, after Deutsche Bank shut down my practice, or our office, I took 6 months and I just started looking for businesses. Like, I actually thought about buying a business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Spent 6-7 months looking for a business and ultimately realized that like, hey, I don't really have I'm just a banker guy. I don't know if I have the chops to own a business, a restaurant, a tow truck business, a repair. Like I looked at real businesses. And so after spending 6 months doing that, I realized, hey, I should go do what I do, but go be a number 2 for an entrepreneur. So maybe I can go be a head of finance or be the right-hand numbers guy to a CEO.
Yo, it takes some humility and being humble to say that. Wouldn't you agree? Most people, I think a lot of people be like, no, I want to be the big swinging dick. I want to be the guy making the decision.
Yeah, but after like working with a team so much, you got to be like, all right, well, this guy's got this skill, so let me go ahead and I'll on my skills.
But I think that takes some humility to say that. Not everyone says that.
Takes a lot of failures to be like,
true. Yeah, that's right.
True that.
That's
okay,
right.
so you're like, I'm gonna be number 2.
That put me on a path, and I went to a small healthcare company, and we were in the healthcare software business, and I was there for 4 years. When I got there, we were 40 employees, but over 4 years, we got up to almost 400 employees. We sold the business.
When you started, how many employees were there?
45 or so.
And it went 10 times 400 employees by the time you left?
4 years. We acquired a bunch of business. We acquired 5 companies while I was there.
Did you help oversee those acquisitions?
Yeah. So every acquired company, I basically became the CFO. Not by title. I was a junior title. Like I'm not trying to oversell. I mean, I was the junior, but I took over those businesses, and they weren't huge businesses. We'd buy a business that maybe had 30 employees. We'd integrate them. We'd maybe buy, I think our biggest business we bought had 100 employees. Acquired those, and I just realized I actually love it. This is what I like. I like to be the numbers guy, decision maker, and helper to a CEO. And the last 10 years has kind of been a quest of wanting to work for great CEOs in businesses that are super interesting and growing. Like,
of all the CEOs you have worked with, who taught you the most about making cheddar? Who did you feel like, opened up, pulled back some curtains and really opened up some windows for you to see, like, oh shit, I didn't know that, or kind of things like that?
Yeah, I would. This sounds like a cop out, but probably my current CEO. So my current CEO, I don't think I've ever met any. I talk a lot about having fire in your belly and working hard. Like now, I'm like, oh, he's telling me the story. I'm like, oh shit, this guy.
Oh really?
This guy.
I thought you were the hardest working guy in the office.
Yes,
and you found out today with this job you're not.
No, not at all. Not even close. And now, by the way, the hard work story. I mean, there's an end to that where now I'm in a position where I'm flipped the script now. I got 3 kids, so there's a story. Maybe we should touch on that. It's like I don't know that that's forever.
Oh yeah,
but you know what I'm saying. And so, but anyway, yeah. So the CEO I work for today, owner's mentality, fighting for dollars, negotiating dollars in contracts. Like when we're a big business. I love to see that, and that's the kind of person I want to be. I mean, you got to care about your business to negotiate $10 more on this thing.
I got one more story.
Yeah,
one more story about work ethic. Okay, it's my time to what you guys were just talking about. So I did go to a boarding school, but it wasn't fancy. It was military school.
Where?
Yeah, in Rantoul, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there for like half a year, and
Did you get in some trouble or some shit?
No.
This sounds like a Maury Povich kind of thing.
I took myself there, actually. You know how kids are like forced to go.
You are your own therapist. Damn. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing good. I'm gonna go. I need more structure. So, like, they gave me.
That's actually a big. I've met people like that. I never thought like that. I went because I had to.
Oh yeah, no, I was not forced at all. There was nobody pulling me. So, they woke me up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and they were like, run and all of this stuff. And
you're like, I know how to do that.
Exactly.
That's right.
Like I excelled so high. And then like, at one point, I was like, I'm kind of done. And then I would like, they had these things called, road guards where you like just stand in the front and walk and nobody's blocking you.
A row guard?
Road guard.
Oh, road guard.
So,
yeah, you guard the road.
Yeah.
You're like in a little booth?
In a formation, you'll have your, formation of whatever size.
Phalanx. I think it's called phalanx or phalanx.
Yeah, you'll have 2 road guards that like stop traffic and all that, and then you'll have your, now I'm forgetting what they're called. You'll have your captains pretty much on the side, like giving directions of which way you turn. So I was like, I'm just going to be a road guard. Like,
And just check the IDs and shit at the booth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cruise, because it was already halfway over, and I was like, I'd already gotten all the medals. I graduated fourth out of like the 300 people there. I was like, I'm good.
got this.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So, and then one day, one of the cadres, like one of the military guys, that came up to me and they were like, Noshod, what happened? And I was like, what? They was like, we were gonna make you one of the captains. Like you worked so hard and all that. And I was like, well, I just kind of went to cruise. They're like, wow. It's like one of the few times somebody called me a genius. They're like, but you're a genius though. Like you should just.
I love how you say one of the few times. Who calling you? Are you a stable genius?
What do you mean? Like, oh, am I crazy?
Trump keeps calling himself a stable genius. Careful, man.
I've never heard of stable genius.
You going into Trump territory by calling yourself a genius?
I've never called myself a genius. Other people have. I like the Jimi Hendrix approach. It's like, if you call yourself a genius, how do you work hard like that?
Right. That's true.
Plateau yourself. But yeah, I was like, and ever since then, I was like, oh man, I should have worked harder. You know what I mean? Because after I was like, I could have been a captain. Yeah. And that reminds me of something that one of my teachers told me.
At the military school?
No, sophomore year in high school. Because I also was around the same time. I was like, I'm just gonna chill. It kind of goes into the big swing a dick thing. It's like, well, you want to be the big swing a dick in the room. Sometimes you are the big swing a dick in the room, right. And you just be like, well, I'm just gonna like shadow myself out to give it to somebody else. You never know if you are that person if you don't try to be that person. Yeah. So what my teacher told me was, he was like, Noshod, the funny thing about potential is you can lose it. And I was like, it just like broke my brain. Yeah. And I was like, I guess totally I gotta work hard.
If you rest on your laurels, you've lost your potential. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good story. Thank you, man.
No problem.
Seeing like the difference between the running story and that story where you did kind of give up.
Yeah,
it's perfect, man. You get to see both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so from this CEO, you actually saw something. So you're saying like, again, you're going back to lean on like how important work ethic is and how important. You kind of brought in another thing besides work ethic. You brought in caring.
Oh yeah,
he cares.
Yeah.
And you're saying caring also is an important element in making money.
100%. I mean, and a lot of that, those are, you can't work hard in the right way unless you actually care about what you're doing.
And do you mean caring, when you say caring, do you mean about every contract and just the dollars and cents? Do you mean about the customers, the employees, the facility, what do you mean? About himself?
No, so there's multiple elements of it. One is, and this is for everybody, not just CEO, but do you care about your craft? Like when I'm involved in any decision finance related, people are like, I'm the numbers guy. So I want to give perfect information. I care that my spreadsheets look good, that someone who's not a numbers guy, I'm explaining things so that they understand. Like I care that I'm impacting the business in a positive way. I'm not there for a job. I'm there because I care to contribute my craft and my skill to a business.
Yeah.
There's just a big difference.
I'm clear that can generate income and money.
Yeah.
How do you believe you generate the caring? For example, I want to get to $1 million by the time I'm 40.
Yeah.
So I'm going to care because I care about the money. Is it like that, or is it something even higher than that, or more?
Mostly, it's actually the exploration of finding what you want. So like when you So for example,
the exploration of finding
the thing you're going to care about. So so for example, I went to U of I, graduated, went to a nice accounting firm by any measure. Is like, hey man, you made it, great, you got the job. Like I didn't want that job. I didn't want to be there.
Oh, something expired in that moment, you're saying?
No, meaning like I told you I wanted to be in a bank. I wanted to get to Deutsche Bank. I wanted to be in New York. Well, I didn't get that job.
Right.
I didn't get that job. And so I got there and I'm like, well, I could just kind of do this because everybody says this is kind of good enough. This is what success looks like is what everybody's telling me. My professors, my friends, my parents are like, this is cool. I'm like, I don't care about this. I'm actually not enjoying this work. I'm kind of like, all right, is it 5:30? Can I go now? Like, are we done? That was the attitude I had there. I'm done.
So you're saying, knowing that attitude, you had to actually...
I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to make partner at a firm if I don't really care about what I'm doing, because you're not going to get good at it.
You had to find what you believed you cared about?
Yes.
Then set that as kind of your goal.
Then it's
natural. Now you care.
Then it's natural. I got to Deutsche Bank
it's
and I was
organic.
like, wait a minute. And that's why that's why the personal, like, why do you think I was geeking out about numbers? It's like, oh wait, I got to Deutsche Bank. I was like, I actually like this work. It wasn't there about the money, all that was important too, but it was about, I actually like this. I wasn't sacrificing to be there till 1 a.m. I wanted to be there till 1 a.m. because I actually enjoyed
stumbled upon and discovered what you do care about.
Yes.
So you're saying that's there. It exists in the human heart. It's organic. It takes some exploration, experimentation, maybe shadowing, asking people, learning, reading.
And most people, by the way, all these things, 90% of people don't do this. Who's out here like, oh, let me go try. Like he's talking about talking to new people. Most people, you and I were like, oh, I don't talk to strangers. But he's probably meeting new people all the time because he's explored. That's how.
And you're saying that's impacting his caring most likely.
For sure.
Do you think that's true?
He's getting new material. He's getting whatever, you know?
That's, I get Instagram followers and stuff like that.
No. Does it make you care more about comedy and being successful in comedy?
Oh, by talking to new people? Oh, yeah. Well, if I could make a stranger laugh. Well, yeah, because one of my skills is that I would meet random people and I would make them laugh. So now that I'm doing this professionally, I just do that regularly, and
well, you guys were telling me
I'm kind of a creep too. I just kind of talk to random people.
Before we got on, you were saying you guys were doing stuff out in public.
Oh, now that is
think about
that is me.
Why do you
caring.
do that?
Yeah,
why
do
you do that?
So there we go. So me and
That's what
the
I'm
listeners, you got to understand what we're saying here, and watchers on YouTube. Noshod and I, in the past, have gone to Millennium Park, downtown Chicago, where the Bean is, and just stood right there and did stand-up.
Yeah.
We literally just did stand-up right there. And Masroor, you're saying, yo, Amr and Noshod, there's an example of you all caring. It's the equivalent of working till 1 a.m. at Deutsche Bank.
How many
zero. You know what I mean? I saw like 4 comedians when I was doing it the first time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing comedy outside. They were like, why would you do that? I was like, why would I? There's so many people
you're
here.
Not, you're
Let me
not
tell
on
you,
the right channel. Yeah.
Doing stand-up there at Millennium Park, it was hot that day too. It was August. I was sweating buckets, man. I had some sweaty.
We got it.
But I tell you what, every stage appearance for like a week or two after that was super easy.
I swear your confidence shoots up. It skyrockets. You like, oh, I could just talk to you guys aren't an audience. You're just people who came to listen to me. And now you can just easily breeze through all your material because that fear, that stage fright, people say they don't got it, they got it. All that is gone.
So my point is, something has happened in my experience of life and your experience of life where we cared enough to say, we're going to go do that. And I'm trying to understand what happened in his life, Masroor, to be up at 1 a.m. at Deutsche or to be doing what you're doing at Factor 75. My experience in life, your experience, what's going on and what's the dynamic there that's creating us to be like, no, I'm going to go stand in front of a bunch of human beings and fail at comedy. It's cool.
Well, you heard his story, right? All those Princeton guys, he knew what it took and he didn't think it was that at first. So he had to change it up. And then once he found what he liked, he continued on with that. And if you like something, you're going to do all the research for it. Like this Millennium Park thing, this isn't the first. We're not the first people who've done it.
Right.
Like I've done my research and I've heard about comedians in New York who go and do comedy.
So he did his research. He started reading.
Exactly.
And from that, I go, well, these are the best comedians in the world. Why would I, if I want to be the best, why would I not do what they do?
Boom.
So
love it.
You do that.
Banging.
And then now you have a sense of self where it's like you see people who come up to you and be like, why would you do that? I'm like, because I want to be the best. And you don't tell them that. I tell them, why not?
Why not? That's a good answer. I like it.
Well, and what's interesting is now, because people are projecting their life through social, I actually think it's harder to do that now. Because now people might see you on Instagram.
Harder to do what?
It's harder because you're
harder to do what?
So to do things like what you guys did.
the
Go out to Millennium Park.
Why is it harder?
When you did it 20 years ago and you're a comedian, nobody's posting on Instagram. Oh, yo,
That
I saw.
is not true.
Really?
I could show you a
Okay.
video of somebody
Okay.
What?
in New York doing.
Who was it?
Public comedy?
Oh, what is his name?
Street comedy?
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, but your point, let me understand your point. You're saying that it's even harder to do today because of social media?
Maybe because
Somebody
people
might
don't want
post?
to put their ego aside and say, "Oh, everybody's going to see me.
I'm going to look stupid.
I'm gonna look stupid."
I think there's truth to
hey,
that.
Oh, yeah,
man,
no.
Noshod, hey, man, he's
100%.
out here in Millennium Park doing. But
Right,
you're
bro.
out there honing your craft. You're like, I don't really care. I want
What
to
people
go
think,
do
right,
this.
right,
I
Right.
wanna go.
And even with they're going to post me on Instagram, that's what, 20, 30, however many followers they got saying you doing comedy. They're going to be like, oh, that's that dude.
He's
who
out
did
here hustling.
comedy.
He's out
Right.
here in Millennium.
Right.
Great, yeah.
All right, so let's keep going. So, all right, so you go to the healthcare company. That's a cool story. You worked for a bunch of CEOs. So now you're at Factor 75. All right, are you in a cush office, rolled up sleeves, feet up on the desk, got the cigar in the ashtray, and you're just telling people, all right, I need you to write these checks because I'm the CFO.
Yeah.
I need you to make these prices like this. I need you to go make sure our bank account is reconciled, and then you go pay these bills. Is that what you do?
No, zero. Zero. Hopefully, no. One day. Not at all. I never want that job. So, I mean, we're a small company. We're today, call it 75 people or so, but in the office, we're 30 some odd people in the office. I'm responsible for everything money related. So small things, paychecks, getting people paid on time, getting payroll. That's not small. Getting vendors paid. Hey, we're thinking about buying this machine that might help us get our meat to cut the right way and might get us faster to make our meals come out faster. How do you think about this? Hey, Masroor, like, should we spend money on this? I'm the guy helping from an analytical perspective to make the right decisions in that space.
You may be the final
Which is
arbiter or
like, it's
decider.
me. I'm not telling somebody. It's like, it's me.
Yeah, you need to decide, like, yes, let's drop this $100,000 on this machine or whatever.
100%.
I got you. Okay, so that's part of what you're doing is anything money related, for example, like purchases, paying vendors. Got it. So 80 people at the company. Do you ever have to do anything outside of the finance function given you're in a smaller company, or do you just, again, stay in the finance role?
So actually, it's what I love about finance because you get pulled in everything. Like if marketing is looking to do a big event with somebody or a big partnership and it costs money, again, I'm involved.
Yeah,
why are you
talk
doing
to
that?
the finance guy.
I've become the person in the room who's like, well, why are we doing this? What are we going to get out of it? What's the return on this marketing investment?
Risk reward.
In most functions, and there's no knock on them, they're maybe building a brand. Their objective is, I want to get 100,000 people to know about our brand. Okay, cool. How is that actually going to help us financially? What is the payback on that? Is that the right metric? So I'm, again, the analysis. How is this going to affect our business? How is it going to affect our bottom line?
Right. You're thinking through those things. Right.
I'm bringing that perspective to a broader conversation that's not just money related. Usually it's not. Usually the decision is not money related. I'm just the guy helping and being an advocate for, hey, is this the right decision from a money perspective?
Right. That's I'm seeing clearly more clearly. That's the CFO role, which is like everyone in every department in a company can just start spending money and being like, yeah, let's buy this. Let's spend money on this. Let's spend money. Yeah. But someone's got to be like, yo, you can't just keep spending money left and right. Yeah. You got to actually think about the limiting factor of cash. We only have so much cash. We got to be smart about how we use this cash. And that's where you step in.
Yes.
All right. Here, let me share a personal issue with myself. I'm now doing my comedy thing, doing the podcast, doing some other stuff, some improv stuff. I'm writing a show. But I'm also running this restaurant 4 or 5 days a week. All right. And I'm not going to lie to you. Speaking of ego, right? It's been really hard for me at times. I get judgmental. I'm like, yo, I'm better than this job. This is a small restaurant. I used to sling millions of dollars, billions of dollars sometimes. Yeah. I could be working at a big corporate job, you know. And I hear that voice inside me, and I'm like, dude, that doesn't sound right, you know? And I'm able to kind of like wrestle him to the ground, you know, we'll call it arrogant Amr. I'm able to wrestle him to the ground sometimes successfully and be like, yo, these guys need my help. I need to roll up my sleeves and just start serving tables, grabbing dishes, washing dishes, and doing whatever. Right. And at 39, I'm not going to lie to you, it's hard to do that. Yeah. Even though, and it's not like I get a direct money make from that, but it's just like, I feel like I can't sit at that restaurant and be there as someone who's going to call himself as the owner and not just roll up my sleeves and do that shit with them.
Yeah.
You coming from Deutsche, working as CFO for all these companies, building companies up to 400 employees, do you ever have to deal with that part? Do you ever hear that voice? Do you ever have to do some dirty work?
100%. So, I mean, I got that guy inside me too. So our
guys should hang out.
We got our guys. My rationale for fighting that guy is to think it through to its natural conclusion. Okay, hey Amr, yeah man, don't do the restaurant. Go back to JP Morgan. Go back. Shit. Hey, just think through that. What would that look like? I go back to to get this money, buy a bigger place. Ooh, maybe I'll buy that BMW I wanted. All this kind of stuff.
Messing with me, dude.
Oh yeah, starts great. Sounds great. Sounds like a good life. But what you and I have is we've actually experienced that. You're not pontificating what it might be in the future. You're like, oh wait, I did have a good big cushy job. How did you like it?
Oh man,
did the money actually matter?
I walked away from it.
How happy were you? Like, so I use this example. So I drive a 10-year-old Honda now, but once when I could. I finally got, this is like 10 years ago, I bought a BMW. Big car payment, all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I made it. I wanted this thing for a long, long time. Got it. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually not. Is this car make me 4 times as happy as my Honda? Because that's what it costs.
Oh, 4 times as much?
It costs, I'm not even, $200 payment versus $800 payment. We're just being math. Listen, again, I'm the numbers guy.
Right.
You got a $200 car payment on an old Honda Accord. Or I got an $800 on a 3 Series BMW. Damn. Is it? And I would ask myself, is it actually making me 4 times? I'm mathy about it. Like, does it make? No, of course, no, it doesn't. And I'm a car guy.
Oh no,
so you think about.
You guys are doing paper rock scissors over there.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
What? You don't think this is valuable?
Yeah, cars.
Money and finances.
Money.
I think that when you buy something, especially like a big ticket item, it feels great for like a week or two. You're a little high.
Yes,
but
it's thinking through that.
You don't get anything else after that.
It's imagining that.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's not true.
Wow, that's a great point. For people who spend all their checks, you know what I'm saying? On like whatever.
Stupid shit.
I agree. So, okay. But going back, so you say you have to, at this job, do you have to sometimes roll up your sleeves and not listen to that ego, that arrogant voice?
No, I put that guy. That doesn't come up anymore. I'm done.
No shit.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff are you doing at this job where you have to?
Yeah. So I'll give a good example. Like we have been growing like crazy. We expanded and we have a new kitchen facility. We're making the best food we've ever made. We're making it faster, taste better. We're double the size we were last year. So we're expanding. So we launch our new kitchen and I'm coming out and
a kitchen that you probably helped fund. Oh, it's going to cost $1 million. This and that. We're going to raise the money. So on and so. You did all that.
All that. Really.
This heady, important decision making, taking risks. Okay, then.
Absolutely. And we find out a couple days in when we're actually producing our own meals that hey, we're a little bit behind. Like we used to be able to do it a lot faster. Hey, we're a couple days behind. We gotta step up. And it's not like we're some big old company. Like let me go get $1 million. Let me go spend $1 million and get some more people. It's like, okay, well, we look around like, all right, we need like 15 people to help. It's like
to help make meals?
Yeah. We need people to like kind of step in and help in the production a little bit. Obviously, we've got people back there. We've got a lot of people working back there, but we need to get some more bodies in there. And everybody in the office was like, all right, let's go.
Probably because the new facility had new systems that weren't perfectly ironed out.
Yeah. And, and I think we were on top of it. But, I mean.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. No.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. And we got to get involved. So, I mean. And,
so you guys did. You went down and made food?
Well, I went to the I went and wanted to help.
Hey, listeners, he's starting to look left and right now. He dropped eye contact and he's like left. His eyes got shifty. Like, and then as you guys heard, it was like well.
I went to the bathroom. I waited.
I can't wait to hear what's about to come out.
All the jobs will be taken. Yeah. So
he said there's no more ego. He said he doesn't listen to that voice anymore. But I'm starting to question that shit. Go ahead.
So and here's the thing, and I talk about my CEO is he's the first guy. He's the first guy. Like, let's go. It's time to go help. Let's go. He goes and starts, getting involved on the line.
You see him.
I show up a little late, and I realize the only job left is in sanitation.
Because you were
And so
avoiding
I'm
this whole
like-
thing.
I'm
You're like,
like,
hopefully I'll
wait,
be able
hold
to get
on.
out of this whole thing.
No.
Sanitation.
No, I'm like,
so you're
hey.
cleaning plates, cleaning dishes, cleaning pots and pans.
we make tens and tens of thousands of meals a week. so
38
it's
years
not-
old cleaning pots and pans.
That's how I roll, man. You
I
and me
honor you,
both.
brother. That's right, man.
I mean,
honor
you
you and me
better.
both.
Your sink gonna look like ass if you don't
Someone-
wash
Your Cinco will
sink. If
Oh,
you
your
don't
sink?
wash your dishes,
Yeah, imagine
don't
if you're in
matter
a
how-
business.
right,
Yeah.
sounds like
don't
you've
matter
had
how
some
old
kind
you
of rotted food in your sink problem.
No, I'm just saying, regardless of how old you are, you're going to wash dishes unless you have a maid.
Yo, man,
But if
he's
she
a
calls-
trained chief financial officer.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No.
You have to wash your
but
dishes.
At his company, most
Tell my roommates that.
at his company, most people in his role will be like, "F that. I'm a CFO. I'm not washing dishes. I don't care if shit starts to build up and rot. It's not in my job title." And so my question to you is, what? Oh, this is where owner's mentality comes in. All right, so you talk
Owners care. Owners care because what if you're like, hey, I'm too fancy, I don't want to do this. Somebody's got to do it, right? Or you're shutting down your restaurant, or you're gonna have stinky dishes. It doesn't matter. I mean, somebody's got to do it. And the owners' mentality, they care. They show up. So for me, it's no question. It's just it's the same story when I'm 22 and I'm the guy volunteering to like carry the books and print things and check things. It's now I'm 38. So what's the difference? I care.
You ever hear someone say like, "Man, he owned his shit," right? He's owning it, or she's owning it.
Own their shit.
Yeah, have you heard someone say like,
I mean,
"Own it"?
you
Just
do,
own it?
You do technically own your shit. You just flush it down. I mean, technically, yeah, you could do whatever you want with your shit.
But I feel like there's this thing where we say, "Oh, own it. Just own it, man.
Yeah.
just own it. Own up to it. Own it."
We made it empty. You gotta. Not everybody owns it.
Right. Well, I think there's this parallel, like to an owner of a business, right? Like the responsibility that comes with owning a business or having an owner's mentality seems to relate to people who are successfully able to quote unquote own it. You know what I mean? I think it just takes a lot to have an owner's mentality or to just own something or own it. If you're on stage, just own the fact that you're looking like, I don't know, you're acting out some weird act out and you own it. It's like, yo, everybody wanted to see that on stage. You want to see you own it. And in the business world, everyone, especially the employees, want to see the CEO own that shit. They want to see him own it.
Yeah.
And they all want to see you own it.
That's right.
And I think at the restaurant, I think when they see me put my ego aside, I don't know if they're watching it that way, but like they see me kind of own the business and just get down and dirty and not be in the office, I think there's something happens. Like they want to see it. I want to see, like everyone wants to see what's up.
Because people, and it's not just like, oh, you do this, just fake it, so they're doing it. No, you care. When you wipe a plate, you make sure it looks clean, something's lined up, the fork got placed the right way.
Right.
People who like their work, they want to do great work.
Oh, this one dude had the most owner's mentality I've ever seen. I was in Florida working at Sun Life Stadium. I was going to do sanitation. I was just going to work in the bathrooms.
Yep.
And we all got in line early and nobody was there. But
Got in line for what?
Because we had a bathroom that we were designated to.
Oh, I got you.
So nobody was there. Nobody was at the stadium. But for some reason, there was a huge shit in my bathroom. I was like, who took this shit?
Come on, own your shit.
Yeah.
Own your
Own
shit. So I was like, I'm not touching this. And then the manager who hired everybody, he came in and I was like, the toilet won't flush. And he was like, oh man, that's no problem. He was like, hand me that plunger, and just got to plunge it. And it was water splashing. I'm like, it's like hit him in the face. I'm like, dude, you're not going
I wouldn't go
Heroic.
At that point, he doubled down, just started plunging even more. He got in a shot in the eye.
I was like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah, flushed it. He was like, need anything else? And I was like,
Yeah. Your blood, shit, and tears.
Actually, could you wipe my ass? Because that was my shit.
I was like, no. And I was just like, I'm making sure nobody goes to this bathroom because I don't want to have to call this dude again. It was but that dude, I would never forget that. I was like, you
That
really
is
care
a man
about.
who cares.
That's right.
Yo,
really care about
just,
your
I don't even know
job.
who this man is. I'll never meet this man in my life.
I mean, he was
I
Haitian.
respect him
So
already.
his name was probably Jean something. But
was what? He was what?
He was Haitian. So his name was
Okay,
probably Jean.
Jean Baptiste.
Yeah, Jean something. You know.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, yeah, man, I haven't even met that guy, but as a man to another man, I respect that guy more than I respect Noshod right now. You know what I'm saying?
That dude. I wanted to give him a high five, but I was not
until he cleaned up.
You weren't touching those hands.
It's like, wash your hands first, then I'll respect you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, you got shit water on your eye. You might want to
You got a dingleberry in your eyebrow.
you might want to get that, bro.
So owner's mentality is whether you're the owner or not. In fact, it matters more when you're not the owner, like your experience at Deutsche Bank. I had the similar experience at JP Morgan where I was in the office on the weekend sometimes. Yeah. Everyone knew to come to me if they had questions. I had all the answers because I would be reading all the research every week. Yeah. So, yeah, it was almost like I kind of felt like I owned JP Morgan, you know? And that guy owned his job. He owned Sun Life Stadium in the facility.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, how do you not respect that guy, you know? And so you're saying you're not the owner.
No, just kidding. It's like,
You're not the owner of Factor 75, but you're acting like the owner. Sanitation, I'm going to clean some toilets. I'm going to wash some dishes. Yeah. And that has a huge impact on making cheddar, on relationships. It just impacts everything.
Because caring will open up opportunities for you. People see, like when I see people who care about their craft, I'm like, I want to work with someone who cares about their craft. Like that. Why wouldn't I? Whatever my business is, like not even in business, in life. Like, don't you want to be involved with people who are doing something they care about? They want to get it freaking right. Yeah, of course you do. Makes you happy to see people. You go to your restaurant and you're like, oh man, everything is super tight. Like this is the best. Why wouldn't you want to eat there?
That's so true. That's so true. Owner's mentality. Cool. I learned a lot, man.
Yeah. I'm trying.
That's good, Masroor. Can you say his name, John?
Masroor.
Close.
Masroor.
It was better.
It's good.
Ruhr.
Ruhr.
Like
it means happy in Arabic, so.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, does it? What? Mine means happy.
Does it?
Yeah.
You keep saying
we got to investigate.
It does. We do got to investigate. I got to see this.
Pretty sure you have no idea where your name comes from.
No, I do. Comes from a lady that my mom worked with.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, this is where it comes from.
We should find out.
So hot.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so hot. That's all been business news and other shit. Thank you all for listening in. Thank you, Masroor, for being here. Actually, any plugs? Factor75.com.
Factor75.com. Try it out.
I think I'm going to try that out, dude.
I thought we were going to talk about the teachers thing.
Strike?
Yeah.
No, not today, man.
Man,
you got something to say about that?
I do.
What? Say it.
Well, okay, this is a theory I have. I don't know if it'll work, but I know they had commission-based pay for teachers at one point in time, right? But they had it where that it would if the students fail, they would get a dock from the pay. This is what I thought. This is what I think is happening.
Their pay would get docked?
That's what I think. I do not know if I'm right.
Interesting.
So I believe they should bring back the commission-based pay, where it's like if all your students get A's, you get a bigger check. So I believe that. And then, like what we said, teachers would care more because they'd be like, oh, I'm getting paid. Because I know a lot of teachers who teach but don't want to be teachers.
Hold on. Just because you bring in the element of money, that's what I was asking him. Is it just that you want money? He's like, no. I've had to organically find that I care about this by doing research and reading. If we told you you're going to be a millionaire as a stand-up comedian if you're successful, that's not enough to get you to be a stand-up comedian.
Well, but the thing is, people might not care about teaching, but they definitely care about money. And money can get them what they want. You know what I mean? Like how people say money can't buy you happiness, but it could definitely buy you what you want to get.
Yo, I think I disagree with you. I think it should just be a way better filtering system of figuring out who the teachers are that don't care. Get them the F out of here.
But how you can't filter out who cares and who don't care.
Of course you can.
That's why there's so many weak ass comics out here because it's like, they be like, oh yeah, I care, but like, do you really care?
Are you writing every day? Right.
Exactly. So you can't equate caring unless you're a Air Bear.
I think there is, man. I think there's a way. What do you think about this, Masroor?
I mean, the thing you got it. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. The thing though is, if you do that, you're like, all right, all your kids, they do well on this test at the end of the year. You're gonna get paid you get extra $2,000. You're just gonna teach to that test. Hey kids,
you're just gonna what?
You're gonna teach to that test.
Oh yeah, that's all you care about.
That's all I care about. Now all of a sudden, I don't care that my kid, maybe I could help them, emotionally with something. Maybe.
But did you know only studying for the test does not help for the test? And if you cared enough, you do the research.
Yeah, all right, you got me. But
I think there's truth to what you're
sounds
saying.
good, but then it creates other misincentives where people push along kids. All of a sudden, you got a sixth grader who can't read, who got A's and B's. Like, how did this happen? Well,
Right.
because
there'll
people were
definitely be
so
some teachers. Now, I've thought about this. There'll definitely be some teachers who just be like, "You get an A, you get an A, you get an A." You know what I mean? But then when that standardized test comes and they don't know shit, they go be like, "Well, what was all this
How did
A
that
shit?"
happen?
And then all that has to come into question. But if they actually get the A's, then that might be an even bigger part of
By the
your
way,
check.
what does this have to do with the fact that they're striking? They're striking for better
Better pay.
conditions for their kids, the students, and better pay for themselves, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean,
And you're saying they can get
like anyway, like half the schools closed. I've been to it's one neighborhood. I can't remember the street, but there's literally like 3 or 4 closed down schools like in a row, and I'm just like, man, what the hell? But that's
I've been seeing some closed schools closing down. I mean, I don't know why those schools are closing down. I could be okay with that depending on why they're closing down. But I think
I doubt it, because if that school closed down, and that means they have to go to another school, and that means that there's more students in the classrooms.
That's probably true, actually, you're
and
right.
that means is that even if the teacher did care, it's harder to care for more students. Like, this is proven, like the less students that are in the classroom, the better the students do, because you could then you could
care
equate-
more.
Exactly. But then, like, if you got 30 students, you can't be like, and then some kids are assholes, so you got like, you gotta care more about one kid than another, you know what I mean?
it's not a thing we can throw money at and fix. I mean, and we can't do it in a vacuum. We got a city that's on its way to bankruptcy. And so,
City of Chicago?
Yeah,
No
it's
shit.
The state of Illinois. We got big
I mean, state of
problems.
Illinois, I knew there's major pension problems.
Who's the
but,
biggest? Yeah, I mean,
But
that's
that's
gonna be the
on the
culprit.
way to bankruptcy?
I mean, I don't know how. I mean,
We going like
property
Detroit.
taxes going up.
Yeah. They tax
why
the
aren't
lottery.
the schools getting money? Like,
That
where
is-
is the? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
our property taxes have gone up dramatically in the last 10 years. Property taxes are intended to fund local efforts like public schools. Where's that stuff going?
All these they tax the lottery, they tax bags, they tax all that, but where does it go at the end of the day? It goes to those guys' pockets.
I mean, this school and the closed school issue is clear. We used to have 15 years ago. We used to have something like 500,000 kids in CPS in the city of Chicago. Now it's like 400,000. We were down like 20% in the
It
last
didn't
15
grow. It actually shrunk.
People are leaving the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. It's clear. Taxes are high. Why would you? I mean, there's a lot of good things. We live here. I mean, but
I mean,
there's a lot of reasons to leave.
Damn.
We're not making it. We're not making it that compelling to stay.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. What do you think should happen? Like with the school
CPS?
things? Yeah.
I haven't followed it well enough to say what the teacher. In general, I feel like teachers are underpaid. I don't care what year you pick in the last 150 years. I feel like they're always underpaid for what they do and what they have to put up with. So in general, them getting a raise, I'm probably in support of it.
Do you think school? Well, okay. First, let me. I might sound up, but do you think school should be like a non-for-profit thing, where it's like they should just get all this stuff for free just because of? Well, no, because that ain't nobody.
You
finna-
looked at me. I'm glad you looked at me. Yeah.
I was like, I already took it. I was like, I sound like Bernie Sanders right now, like because America is going to tax education because it makes money. So
We
that's not
need
gonna happen.
local controls of schools. We
Yeah.
act like we have a population of 400 and some odd thousand kids. We give them the same budget, across a per pupil budget across all schools, and we teach them the same curriculum across 400,000 kids. Does that just make normal sense? Why would you teach the same curriculum to kids from vastly different needs?
Right.
So
Well, 'cause
it's
they
not
only-
about
it's-
money.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think
just
you're right about
We need
it's
local
easy,
control.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have that will also that's like privatized school too, and then those don't be the best neither.
I don't know. So what's our benchmark? I mean, what is our? I don't know that I disagree. I mean, I probably
I'm just
disagree.
asking
Yeah.
questions.
So like, privatized schools sound like they get a bad rep, but here's the thing: every CPS, I don't know what the CPS budget. It's something like $9,000 or something per kid per year. Let's make it up. I think it's about right, actually.
Sure.
When you take out admin costs, which is another $2,000 or $3,000, if you got from the state of Illinois, or I got 3 kids, if somebody just handed me $30,000 a year, 10 grand per kid. Let's just make it 10 and say, hey, Masroor, you as their dad, go do what you got to do for your kids. I'm going to go shop around. I'm going to say, oh, my kid is in art. I might put her in an art class. I might do this. I might hire a private tutor. That's a lot of money we're burning on these kids. Where is it going? But I, as the parent, am the best decider for my kids.
Right.
I know what they need. I know their aptitudes. What we do is we say, hey, let's all just pool in our money together and let's just teach them all the same stuff. Your kid might be into art. My kid is into math. Like, why are we doing that?
Right.
And we've been doing it for a while. What's the efficacy?
We learned that most kids don't learn that way.
They don't learn that
regardless,
way.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're done with second grade. If you don't know how to write in cursive now, you're done.
That's why
because you got to go
people
do
say
third grade
school
stuff.
is just baby prison is what it is pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, but
by the way, that's not the example I'm giving is a real example that politicians have done for. It's like school vouchers, saying why don't we just give money to the parents?
Yeah.
And let them say, hey, maybe I'm rich, so I go to the school that costs 20 grand. I chip in the extra 10 myself. Is that hurting anybody? I'm actually getting them the opportunity. Private schools now have more competition. They get better teachers, more funding.
Right.
But some of
more schools open
Some of
up.
that is also on the schools too, because they take that money and they don't do shit with it. So, like,
There's some inefficiencies on that side too. Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna be dumb forever, I guess.
But I think
hey, guess what though? The internet is free for right now, so go learn.
Wikipedia, folks.
Go learn what you can.
Khan Laboratory. What's his name?
Khan Academy.
Khan Academy. That's it. Yeah.
South Khan.
What's that?
It's an online thing that Bill Gates funded, which was some dude named
Sal Khan.
Sal Khan.
I don't
who
know if I
basically-
want to go to Khan Academy. That doesn't sound good.
You know what's so funny?
C-O-N.
My kids are in CPS. They use Khan Academy now.
Oh,
They
really?
get homework on Khan Academy.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah. It's like you got to do these things. Yeah, for
Wow.
sure.
Yeah.
That's good. From CPS school?
Yeah, Mike, I got 3 kids in CPS.
No, from the CPS school teachers will
Yes.
assign them Khan Academy stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, some
yes.
teachers be like, well, this
Absolutely.
is a great outside source to, I've had teachers
I mean, that's
do
what
that
I'm
for
starting to
me.
see is like education is out there now. Not like it used to be. It's just out. You can gain education wherever you want. Homeschooling's getting bigger for that reason, I think. What is the school actually providing? I think it's providing a structure of accountability. You know what I'm saying? For the parents, so that the parents don't have to worry about the accountability part. I think that's what's going on. So I think if
What do you
teachers...
mean?
Okay, so...
Yeah.
So you can get education almost anywhere now. Just jump
Right.
on the internet and great teachers will teach you fractions or the Constitution or... English literature. Read this book and answer these questions. It's everywhere. You can just get it. And a lot of people are choosing homeschooling for that reason.
Right.
Now, I think the reason people don't choose homeschooling is because it's kind of sometimes difficult, especially if both parents work. You can't really create accountability. You can't really make your kids, read the book.
Accountable
take the test.
to whom?
Who
Who is the most responsible for a child?
the parent.
Yeah. So who accountable to whom for what?
The parent chooses to send the kid to school because the parent is not available.
Oh, so you saying like the parent can blame the school?
Not blame, but just the parent's like, I can't make sure my kid's going to learn fractions. I got to go to work right now. So I'm going to send the kid to school, even though all the knowledge is out there on the internet.
Yep.
I'm saying, the main benefit of schools like CPS schools is they're a structure for accountability, just to get the kid to learn fractions.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that they're the best teachers.
Did kids learn before we had public schools?
Of course.
Yeah. We had homeschooling. Homeschooling was
That's
the
the
majority
original
way
thing.
until like
Right.
80 or 100 years ago.
So I'm
The
saying...
Department of Education was what, 100 years old, 120
Probably,
years old? We're not
maybe
like
less.
we've been doing this for, this is
thousands
the
of
model.
years. Yeah, no. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
why don't we focus almost all of our efforts on making them really good accountability partners, making the teachers really good accountability partners, meaning giving them a higher EQ than IQ. They don't need to necessarily be the best math teacher to teach fractions. A lot of that is out there in the world. Oh, the math teacher's giving the kids Khan Academy stuff for homework?
Yeah.
Clearly, they're realizing, like, shit, Khan can teach this better than I can. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, imagine if they became really good accountability partners and the teacher had the EQ to be like, all right, Johnny is having trouble with this stuff. It's not like I need to just keep drilling fractions with him. Maybe I need to just talk to the kid a little bit and figure out what's what.
Right. Keep like a little Yeah, you might be onto something. Like keep like a little journal, be like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. Yeah,
it's really about becoming accountability partners more than they're the best teachers.
But the
in
nature
world.
of that is that it's localized. Kids in a certain neighborhood are going to have certain situations at home that have certain needs.
Yes.
And you have other kids who have other needs
Yes.
and other things. And the only and in a system where everybody's measured on the same thing, you can't do that because you're putting everybody through the same system. Hey, at the end of first grade, you got to do this. If you're not, you get held back. And at the end of second grade, you got to do this or whatever.
I'm okay with that though, as long the reason a lot of kids will fall back and not be able to learn their fractions in time, but they still go on to second grade or they fail, I think is because those of the kids might be having some trouble with learning for some reason or with accountability or getting the stuff done, and they need the extra attention.
Yeah.
It's almost like the teacher allocating his or her attention and time
Yes.
in a more accurate way wherever the accountability is lagging.
maybe there shouldn't be really grades, but like you know how you in college and you go to math 101.
Yeah, you get pass fail.
Yeah, so
Yes.
and then you keep
That's
going
what
up.
homeschooling is about. It's like the accountability, and that's what kind of I was getting at earlier. Is like accountability saying the second grader should be able to do multiplication. Why?
Yeah, why
Who made
that time?
up?
That timing?
Who made that up? Like maybe my kid can, or maybe my first
Do you
kid
mean
can, but my
the
third
timing
kid.
specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with the timing, not to be super attached to it, but I'm okay with the timing, just like to have some guidelines of like, well, the goal is to get them to know their
Yeah.
multiplication tables
Yeah.
by third grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a bad goal. If they don't, something's up, and we need to just like.
Yeah.
They
This
do
is one of
kind
the
of do that
insights,
though,
yeah.
because they, you ever heard of like, they're on like a 5th grade reading level
Yeah.
or something like that. So
they
there's
do.
mild versions of that, but yes, where you
This
say
is one
the
of the
time.
insights of Khan Academy. Actually, one of the things I saw a talk by him a while ago. He was like, even kids who are getting B minuses and they're doing good, C's, B's and C's. I mean, probably some of us around. Get through school, you graduate. Why is it? When you get B's and C's in 3rd or 4th grade, that has a compounding effect. By the time you get to 7th, 8th grade, like if you only knew 75% of the material in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, like you are freaking
Far
lost
behind. You're
in high
behind.
school.
Yeah.
And the reason we're shoving them through, it's like, oh, you got a B minus. I got B minus. It's like, all right, you got a B minus. You get to keep going to next grade. And now you're in the system that's actually, it's a system. It's not designed to teach you math. It's designed to push you through.
Correct.
And like, that's the problem I have. And so this
That's-
whole Khan
I agree
Academy
with
thing's
that.
like, wait, people should be getting 100%. Like you should be able to do
Yes.
this thing and get 100. If you don't, it's not saying everybody's got to be some, perfect kid. It's like, you didn't understand your, times table, so let's spend more time on that.
100%.
But we can only do that when we have localized involvement. That's my whole thing, is that once you have federal Common Core, you got a CPS that tells you every 6th grader has to get this, every 6th grade teacher has to have your kids at 80 percentile or you don't get paid. It's like, oh shit, well, I got to teach X, Y, and Z, and this is all I got to do.
Right.
You're not allowing the latitude for kids. And by the way,
But then
some
that's
kids
where-
graduate from high school and they're done. They're entering the workforce. Some kids get their parents to pay for their Princeton college.
But then that's when
there's a big difference.
Well, all right, calm down. that's where that journal thing could come in, and then that's where the teachers go, well, look, your kid understood this, but I understood that, and then
Yeah.
yeah, it's almost like, how they have counselors in school?
Yeah.
And no one really, it seems like the counselors don't do much, and they have like 1 or 2 or 3. Like my high school counselor I felt like it did not have much impact on me, even though I was going through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying like raise the counselors to teachers ratio. Realize that what we need more than just a teacher who can teach math and English and whatever is we need a teacher who got high EQ, high skill level in figuring out what's going on with the kid and why isn't this working or that working.
Yeah.
I think that is like we almost need more counselors. Almost like put a teacher and a counselor in the room.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
weird to say that.
Coming
but-
from my personal experience, when I was in school, starting off, I was good at math, and then I was bad at math, and then I was good at math again. And nobody was ever able to tell me why. It's just something that had happened. Like I just got good at math again all of a sudden. And I was always like relatively okay at school, but it was more like a behavioral thing. And the one teacher who took the time out to be like, oh yeah, maybe he just about school, like, and then gave me other things to do that helped me out, to where it's like she was like paying attention. But classes were smaller back then. So
Yeah, and that teacher cared. That was a teacher with high EQ.
Yeah.
And guess what? I don't think that's the majority of teachers, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's not a knock on teachers. It's a knock on the system that there's something not right. That I think you're right. Every kid, there should be red flags going up. Like, wait a minute, this kid did not do well on the math grade. They're getting a B-, C+. They should be at A. Or they can be at A.
Yeah.
What do we need to do to get that kid at A? And I think it seems like fundamentally, it's not set up to make sure each kid can get to an A. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I worry about too is the bigger thing is like, what is the workforce they're going to come out into? So what are the skills we're equipping today's kids with? And I mean, we're talking about this whole thing with AI and automation and like middle class jobs going away. It's like we're doing the same. Now we're actually, we're teaching them math. We're teaching the same stuff we thought when we were in grade school.
We probably need something else, right?
I mean, the world is changing. The jobs they're going to need to have, the skills they're going to need to have for those jobs. So that's what I'm really worried about.
So true. All right, let's end it there, y'all. Thank you for bringing up CVS. That was a good conversation.
No problem.
Noshod, you got anything to plug, bro?
Oh, what am I doing?
Got any shows coming up?
Add me on Instagram at Lotus Nugget, LOTUSNUGGET, and then I'll post all of my shows and stuff then. And I got
You're not going to Cincinnati again, are you?
No, man. I got some Instagram videos coming out. I'm trying to do that a lot more.
Cool.
And then just catch me. I'll post pictures. I'll just be a part of the experience that is Noshod. All right.
Back to 75. You got your shows. Dodo, what's your Instagram?
OMG1 soy sauce.
OMG1 soy sauce. Cool. I am the Amr Abdullah. Follow us. Peace, y'all.
Peace.